From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a huge noontime here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this breaking news report, we're going to go over the news heating up the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check you're going to get started in the month of July. No less than now 8 breaking news statements, and the most important one happening in just the last few hours. Wow, you're really going to be shocked by the news. Then, in the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up for the biggest amount you've ever seen in a generation, and why the benchmark got big news this morning, and it's absolutely incredible. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money you're going to get, and I want you to get. Linda got some this morning. Tim got some last night. Tens of thousands of dollars. You're going to get the money, and I'm going to go over how you're going to get it. It's a great noontime. I'm really excited for you. Let's get to it. Let's get to the money. It's starting right this minute, right here, only on LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How are you doing? It's a Friday afternoon or noontime, depending on where you are. And we got great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But first, how's the weather where you are? It is beautiful here in Southern California and Santa Monica today. Hope the weather is good where you are. Drop in the comments where you're watching from and how's the weather. In this recording, we could go over the fourth stimulus check and the breaking news in the last few hours. And the breaking news, no less than 8 stories about this multiple stimulus check that starts in the month of July. We'll go over how much you're going to get and when you're going to get it. Then the second half of this recording, we'll go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits to the biggest amount you've ever seen, and why the benchmark is being done at the best time, because the number is the highest you're going to see in a generation. Oh boy. And then in the middle of this video, we can go over the $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 you can get right now. And viewers like Tim and Linda sent me messages just in the last few hours. They got money. One viewer on Morning to LA said they got money, and I want that person to be you. So subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Wall Street to Main Street, my home to your home, helping one another since day one. Hit that subscribe button, 400,000 subscribers for a reason. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus starting right now. The fourth stimulus has a House bill, and that House bill was written by Jalapal. That House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. That's monthly. And we're going to look at that starting right now. House bill from Jalapal, 1 year plus the pandemic plus 1 year, monthly. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, is a stimulus check from July to December. Let's compare the amount. If you're in the live chat watching this just after about 11:20 on the West Coast, get ready to vote House or Senate, but not just yet. And if you're watching later, taped in the day, jump into the comment section and vote House or Senate. And tell me where you're watching from as well. All right, let's get to the monthly amount. House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter every month. That's a bill on the House floor. Senate proposal, on the other hand, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. Incredible, great news. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now, let's go back to Jalapal's House bill and understand why it may get impacted because of something that else is going on. The bill provides a stimulus check monthly through the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. But some legislators contend that potentially the pandemic will be viewed over for legislative purposes by the time the vote occurs. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill for the House would provide a stimulus check for 1 year, not pandemic plus 1 year. And 1 year of stimulus checks is, of course, 12 months. Under Jalapal's bill, that's $13,000 over 12 months. How does that compare to the Senate? There you go. Half the amount of time. So now if you're watching, jump into the comments. House of Senate. House of Senate. Which one do you like? And tell me where you're watching from and how the weather is. All right, let's go over the other items you need to know about for stimulus update of 2021 right now. First, who gets it? You do. So if you're a single individual, 75,000 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. Family of four, you get the forced stimulus check. Just quadruple it. Family, husband and wife, double it. And then if you're on benefits, you get the forced stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, yes, congratulations, you get the forced stimulus check. The amount of the forced stimulus check is the same for adults, as adult dependents, as children. Everyone gets the same stimulus check amount. Great news there. Also great news is that the fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. We don't know anything about child support. But remember, I'm just a reporter. The legislators make the representation, and they represent the vote will be no later than July 4th. That means you'll get the first check in the month of July for the month of July. And in the month of August, for the month of August, there can be no waves of stimulus checks because it's a monthly stimulus check. And there you go. That's your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 to start today. But boy, I got the breaking news and stuff that happened in the last few hours, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's coming up in just a second, but let me give you a preview of the second half of this video. And it's fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this September, and it has in there that SSI and SSDI and other beneficiaries reform. Who is this for? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits. You'll be raised up one big time to a big new number under the fifth stimulus. And then they'll apply a benchmark which can literally change your life forever. I'll explain the breaking news that happened minutes ago about this and how this calculation works, and it's coming up in the second half of this video. But now let me get to that big money. And there's not even a 2 hours. I would say it's every 3 hours I get a message. Now it's almost every hour. This morning, I came into the studio, and Tim sent me a message. He said that Chris got him some money for rent and utilities. Congratulations to Tim, and thank you, Chris. And then I got a very nice message from Linda on Twitter after Morning's Crypto just minutes ago. She got $1,500 for utilities. Congratulations to Linda. And then on Morning's LALATE, one viewer reported they had gotten money for utilities and I think rent in Nevada. So congratulations to that viewer on Morning's LALATE. You may have seen as well. So let's go over this big money. Get that pen and paper ready. Stay to the end of the video because I got a lot of money to get you. If you got some money, I'm going to get you some more. And if you haven't, today's your day. So get ready. First, is there $350 billion that the federal government has now approved under the third stimulus that's landing this week and next week. And what is it for? You. Rent, utilities, homeowner's mortgage, and homeowner's utilities. So where do you get this money and how much money is it? It's about $5,000 for rent, 4 to 6 months of rent. Yes. So where do you get it? I hope you got that pen and paper ready. 6 places. Here we go. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. The key word you're going to say is rent assistance because of COVID. That's rent assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say stimulus. You can say Biden Economic Recovery Act. And remember, every place has a different eligibility. So you may get a no at the first stop. Don't stop there. Go to the next one to get the yes. And they also have their own pot of money. There you go. $5,000 for rent, money for utilities, money for mortgage. Boy, but I got other money for you. And one viewer got it this morning as well. And Lynn Glenn got it last night. Her son the day before got an increase. It is SNAP. SNAP is absolutely incredible. It is money for your food. Let's go over what it is, how you get it, and how much it is. First, what is it? It is money for your food. How do you get it? From the administration department that administers it. It's called the Department of Agriculture, DOA. How do you get them on the phone? You can also call 211, get connected over to Department of Agriculture. Finally, how much money is it? It's a fortune. It's a darn fortune. A family of four in Hawaii is getting upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. Everyone's benefits. So there you go. $16,000 for SNAP in Hawaii for a family of four, and $5,000 for rent. We're doing really well, and we are 10 minutes into this video. But guess what? I got some breaking news about other money, tracking the money, and surprises about the money. And it's starting right now. You're going to hear it for the first time on Noontime LA, starting right now. First is money from your state. One viewer's got $5,000 for it. I'm going to go over what it is, how you get it, and when you get it. First, what is it? The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment benefits due to computer error and then asking you to return the money to them, and you did. Well, the federal government has said that was a mistake. It was your money to keep, the viewer, and you should not have had to return it. And now the federal government has ordered the state to return the money back to you. Wow. So how are you going to get the money? In the account that you have on file with your unemployment benefits. Finally, when are you going to get the money? Every state has different rounding times, so reach out to your respective state. Which brings me to the other item, which has breaking news you're going to hear for the first time on Noontime LA, which is money from the federal government. First, what is it? How much is it? Then how do you get it? Then when are you going to get it? And the breaking news about the when, and then how to track it. Yeah, we got a lot on this one, so let's get to it. It is the money you paid to IRS for your taxes on the 2020 return. How much money is it? Let's go over an example. It is the taxes you pay to IRS on those unemployment benefits. So let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You filed a 2020 tax return. The total tax bill was $5,000, of which you had $4,000 of taxes on the unemployment benefits. Congratulations. You're getting back a check of $4,000. Next, how are you getting that check back? In the mailbox, in a beige or white envelope, laser thin. I want you to surgically go through the mail between now and early June until you see that check, because it's super thin. White or beige, Department of Treasury, IRS to you, beige check, and there you go. The only rare circumstance is in a direct deposit, if the direct deposit was listed on that bank account, on that tax return. Finally, when are you getting the check? And this is the breaking news. Treasury had told us in early May that everyone was going to have their checks sent out by the end of May. Not necessarily received by the end of May, but sent out by the end of May. They had identified 3 stages. Stage 1 was single filers non-complex returns last week. Single filers complex returns by the end of last week. And then joint filers this week, stating that everyone was going to have their checks sent out by the end of May. Well, the #1 financial TV channel reached out to IRS yesterday after several of its viewers had said they had not seen the checks. I've had some viewers have gotten the checks on this channel. And the IRS response was silence. Ooh, okay. So there you go. Well, I got a solution for you, because I always try to find a solution. I'm going to show you how you can track that check. You're going to go to irs.gov, irs.gov, sign in, set up a username and password, go in there, put your social security number in your account when you sign up your account, and then do a transcript search. After you do a transcript search, it'll show the most recent activity under your social security number. You filed the 2020 tax return, you paid the taxes, and then the refund check is coming back. All right, I'm really excited to go over all this really incredible, no less than probably, I think it's about 8 breaking news stories now on the stimulus. And boy, it's snowballing. It's snowballing. So I want to go over it chronologically. The news started last week. I'm going to bring it all the way up to right now. Some of the news is just a few hours old, and you're going to see how it is really, really built up like a domino effect. So when Jalapal introduced to the House floor the House bill providing the monthly stimulus checks, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Jalapal's House bill got the signature of about 100 House Democrats saying to the president, we're going to put this into the 4th stimulus package. Well, what did Jalapal do to get the ball rolling again just last week? Jalapal wrote this letter to Leaders Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. And what did it say? Call the vote. Call the vote. Why is Jalapal saying that? Well, Jalapal's saying that because basically at this point, the legislation ostensibly has been written and they don't want to wait around any longer. And because there was no further progress, it's time to just call the vote. Wow. Now, if that ain't get any better, it does. That letter by Jalapal is signed by nearly a dozen House members. And guess who those House members are? Yes, many of them are the same House members who wrote the president a letter saying they're going to put those forced stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Wow. And then it gets better, a lot better. Last Friday, this letter circulated, and this letter was from 7 House Democrats to the president this time. What does the letter say? That we're going to work with you to put those monthly stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Work with you is a euphemism because the president doesn't write bills. The president's the president. He's in the executive branch. The legislators write bills. So they're basically saying they're going to write the bills, but they're going to talk to him about it. They're going to write, they wrote the president, we're going to work with you to put multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Well, who are these people to be writing a stimulus checks into a stimulus bill? They are on the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, which is singularly the only subcommittee tasked exclusively to write about stimulus checks in House bills. Oh boy. So you mean, yes. So the people who are responsible for writing stimulus check legislation under the first stimulus package, the second stimulus package, and the third stimulus package, last week, a week ago today, told the president they're going to put those multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Wow. As if Captain Obvious can't walk behind the set. I think I sort of see him somewhere behind the plants right now. Incredible. It's insane. And it got even better than that. Last Friday, the President of the United States said, I'm going to give it one more week. And after that, I'm not going to have any more bipartisan lunches with the Republicans. Well, guess what? That's today. And it's now, what is it, like, it's 12 o'clock West Coast time. So it's evening. It's early evening now. So done. Next week, it's lunch with Jill. And we're calling the vote. Wow. Then came on Tuesday. Tuesday was really surprising. Tuesday was a fascinating announcement, a little complicated, but I'm going to slow it down for you so you understand it. It's a little complicated. I'm going to slow it down. The forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. It's currently 21%. So on Tuesday, the president said he reached out to the G7 countries around the globe and tried to get an informal agreement from them to raise the global corporate tax rate. What does that mean? Well, the global corporate tax rate means the tax rate if you were going to take your business out of your corporation out of New York and move it to France. By raising the global corporate tax rate, it would discourage people from moving those businesses to another country. And he says he got informal agreement to that global corporate tax rate. Wow. But the second half of that day was even better. The president told insiders that after the forced stimulus is passed, if he can get those G7 countries to agree to the global corporate minimum tax rate of 15%, that he'll come back and then drop our U.S. corporate tax rate lower because then we won't need it as high. Oh boy, that was a real surprise. And then 2 days ago, the Republicans came in with a counterproposal, 3 Republicans. The president's staff rejected it immediately. But then finally, late last night, it got even better. Late last night, the Senate Democrats, who a lot of viewers sometimes say, we haven't heard from those Senate Democrats for a while, came out, had a press release, and basically said, we are not spending one more minute with this for bipartisan negotiations. The counteroffer is rejected. Call the vote. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. In the second half of this video, at the end of this second half of this video, I'm going to go over what calling the vote means. I'm going to go over the voting process so you are informed and educated what the voting process is on a reconciliation. It's not one day, it's not 1 minute, so I want you to understand what a voting process is so we know what we're starting next week with. But also in the second half of this video, I'm going to go over that this stimulus, why raising your benefits up a lifetime will change you, because this may be the highest benchmark you're ever going to see in a generation. But first, I want you to get that money for rent, utilities, homeowner's mortgage, and also homeowner's utilities. And if you've reached out to your city, county, and state and you can't find it, don't worry. That's why this channel is different. We help people here. And there's a community page. Where's the community page? It's in the description to this video. Open the description and then go down the description till you see an emoji of a house. Next to the house is a link, news.lalate.com/community. It sends you to the webpage that says community page on there. There's a picture of some cats at the top of the page, and then down the page are some volunteers, like the volunteer who helped Tim get his money. Reach out to them for help on your rent, your utilities, your mortgage assistance, and your homeowner's utilities. And they are salt of the earth. They are viewers just like you. And guess what? I will be back in 60 seconds. So stay with me. I'll see you in 60 seconds with big details still about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on LALATE with more exciting details across the board. Boy, what a day we have, and we are heating up right now. This is Noontime LALATE, and boy, what a day it is. I'm really excited for you to join me. In the second half of this video, we're going over more about fourth stimulus and also fifth stimulus. But first, subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I'm with you all weekend long, so don't leave me. I'll miss you. So stay with me all weekend. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm going to get to the importance of membership in the second half of this video. All right, let's get into the breaking details about fifth stimulus starting right now. Fifth stimulus is absolutely incredible. It is an add-on, and that add-on is the SSI and SSI reform. Let's go over the details of it starting right now. That fifth stimulus adds on that new SSI and SSDI reform. First, they're going to raise your benefit limits, then remove the asset limits, then add an inflationary benchmark. And they're going to remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over the breaking details that happened just in the last few minutes and why this money is so much money and nothing you've seen before. Okay, first, they're going to raise your benefits up under the fifth stimulus. Who's you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, your benefits will be raised up one big time. Second, they're going to apply a new benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. Now, we all know what inflation is, but how does the benchmark work? Let me explain how that works. Every December, you get a letter that says next year your benefits are going to go up or stay the same based upon this benchmark. Benchmarks raise you up or keep you the same. You never step down. Now, we all know what inflation is, but how high will the inflation rate go? Jeremy Siegel 2 weeks ago said maybe it's going to be 20% in December. The Federal Reserve out of Georgia early this week said 4% growth now, maybe it's going to be 10.5% growth by December. That looks like 7% inflation. And then we've had a lot of analysts over the last few days talk about 4 to 6% inflation, maybe 7%. This morning, a new economic data was released, and this is again breaking news, and that new economic data blew out the inflationary projections of the Federal Reserve, suggesting again that the Federal Reserve's numbers are too low and that we're seeing even higher numbers right at the board. I mean, when you're gauging inflation, you can also gauge inflation on a personal level. This morning, I went to the market and I saw tortillas in a wrapped container. That same manufacturer, the tortillas, no less than 3 months ago, were 80 cents. They've always been 80 cents. As long as I know, 80 cents. Guess what they were today? $1.25. Imagine how high of an inflationary price escalation, that is more than 25%. So you see that 6% inflation is not unusual when you're seeing price of goods go up 20, 30, maybe even 100%. So let's use 6% as an inflationary benchmark. Let's see what happens to your benefits. First, they're going to raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus one time. And then let's say the inflation is 6%. Then they'll raise your benefits up 6%, and that's lifetime, because your benefits never step down. If the year after that the inflationary number is 0%, you don't step down. You always stay at plus 6%. And if the year after that it's 2%, you step up another 2%. It's incredible, great news. It's a lot more than anything that was proposed by Elizabeth Warren. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a horrible 1980s law that says you can't keep then approximately more than $3,000 on hand and also stay on benefits. It's going to go away just in time to get those stimulus checks in the bank. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law. It's really old, that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. So if you want to work $1,000, $2,000 a month, you can and stay on benefits. And finally, the most important one, the marriage penalty, which is horrible. It's going to go away. The marriage penalty prevents you from getting married for fear of losing benefits, or you are married and you have suffered from the marriage penalty. It's gonna go away. So love is gonna win. You're gonna be able to marry your lifetime love interest and not lose benefits. And if you are married, you will no longer be penalized. Wow. That's fifth stimulus. That is in the fall, September. Two-bill, two-step process. The benefits likely to hit your account they're representing maybe around October, November-ish. The benchmark letter, December, impact you in January, and there you go. Now, it's important to understand that when you think about fifth stimulus, you hear what the president calls it. He calls it the American Family Plan. Well, everything you just talked about, that's not necessary for families, it's for single people. Exactly right. The fifth stimulus actually has a lot of stuff in there for single people. There's single people money. There's hazard pay single people money. There's seniors single people money, single seniors money in there as well. So that's why it's really helpful when you're a member. The link to membership is at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. When you're a member, you get access to what's in the fifth stimulus, because I don't have time in a 30-minute video to go over everything that's in the fifth stimulus package, or the fourth, or the third that come every day in a delineation in a message to you from the community page that lists everything in the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. It's also really important because we're just 30 days away from a very crowded month. July. July is going to have a lot of things happening at the same time where stimulus packages literally overlap. And you're going to look at one and you may get confused if you're not at least a subscriber. Here's an example. In the month of July, the four stimulus checks they represent would go out round one. Guess what also happens in addition to those four stimulus checks in July? There are the third stimulus checks going out to the children. Third stimulus, not fourth stimulus. Also in July, there's a budget bill. If you look at the budget bill, you may say, this doesn't say stimulus, but you may get confused by looking at the wrong bill. There's some standalone Jalopal bills out there that may be called for a vote, so you may look at the wrong Jalopal bill. It is very easy to get confused, and you're not alone. A new political report released just in the last 24 hours asked supporters of the President of the United States, Democrats, if they knew what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus. Over 50% said they had no idea what's in fourth or fifth stimulus. And of the remainder that said they had some idea, they said they had almost no understanding and just knew about maybe one item or two items. They couldn't really tell you what was in the fourth or fifth stimulus. That's why it's helpful to subscribe and, if possible, also become a member. All right, let's go back to fourth stimulus and let's go over why it's important to understand the voting process for the fourth stimulus. It's a big morning and I'm really excited, or a noontime, and I'm really excited for you to watch this. I want you to understand what is in the voting process. And if you understand this, share the information with other viewers who join into the other videos throughout the day. When this channel was around in November, you may have remembered what had happened. The federal government was not giving you stimulus, and it was my sole idea to put stimulus in a continuing resolution. I started the campaign, CR for Stimulus, and we got stimulus into the CR. You helped push it. And then when we didn't see stimulus checks, I said we need to do a campaign for stimulus checks in the CR. I came up with the idea and you pushed it and we got it. But if you also remember, it got done, the vote, in about a week and a half. That's not a reconciliation. If you watched what happened with this channel in January, the reconciliation vote took a couple steps. So I want to go over those steps now so you realize what's at issue. I fully believe that next week there's going to be someone in the comments that says, the vote only takes a day, send out the check the next day. No. In the case of reconciliation, there's several votes that have to take place. And I know there's probably going to be someone that's going to say they're dragging the feet in their votes. No, the Constitution requires them to take all these different votes. So let's go over them so you are informed and educated what they are. The first step is the procedural part of the reconciliation. The second step is the substantive. So procedurally, they have to go to the subcommittees of the House, call the vote in this respective subcommittees, of which you're not going to be seeing this. This is not going to be on broadcast news. It's subcommittees. We don't cover this. They're going to call the vote. So that's one vote. Then when they approve everything on the subcommittees, which they do, then it'll go to the House floor for the vote on the procedural part of the reconciliation. That's vote number 2. Then they have to send it to the Senate for the Senate to approve the procedural reconciliation vote. That's vote number 4. I'm losing count. I think it's vote number 1, 2, 3. That's vote number 3. That's vote number 3. Then they have to send that to the president to sign. That's the 4th step. Okay, now they've agreed on the procedural elements. They have to go back and now vote on the substantive bill. You have to repeat all that again. The only difference is the second time it's not 4 votes. You have to add an extra day because the vote-a-rama when it lands in the Senate is 2 days. It's not 1 day. So you see there's about 7, 8 votes they have to do, or steps they have to do. And it's not dragging their feet. It's the Constitution. That's the way we live. Now fully understand that if they've done one vote and the next vote they can go do it, and it's a Monday and they say they're going to do it on Wednesday, then I'm certainly going to get on social media and say, why are you dragging your feet? You have Tuesday available. Are you afraid you want to go out on Taco Tuesday and you don't want to do any voting on Tuesday? So I understand they do that. They do sort of leave extra days and sort of skip a day. We're going to stay on top of that if they do that. But understand, I don't want you to think that they can call a vote in 1 day and send out a check on the next day. Not the way it's done. But it's also a little bit longer than the CR for stimulus in the second stimulus. And there you are. What a big morning it is. I'm really excited for you. I'm really excited for Tim. I'm very excited for Lynn. I'm excited for Linda as well. We've had a lot of people give money for rent, utilities, food, internet. If you are one of the success stories, drop in the comments, share it on social media, send me a message. It inspires other people when they see it as well. We continue to help each other as a family and continue to grow. So hit that subscribe button. 400,000 subscribers for a reason. A YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. I'll next see you on Afternoons LA at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Evenings LA. I'll be with you all weekend long as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful noontime. Have a great lunch, or, I assume there's some bacon in there. And stay with LA for some more.